Hi again, folks. Welcome to another Liberty Flames Sports Network Rewind. My name is Nick Pierce, the voice of Flames Baseball. Glad to have you along. Hope you're doing well. Hope you and your family are safe. And thanks a lot for spending some time here with us. It's time to take a little trip down memory lane, and this one's going to be a lot of fun tonight. We are joined by former Liberty baseball players Mike Robertson and Trey Wimmer. And, guys, it's great to have you along. Mike, start with you. How you doing, man? You're living in South Carolina these days.
Yeah, I'm just down in South Carolina. Never thought I'd be in South Carolina, but now I'm here in Charleston, just sweating all the time because it's really hot down here. Not used to that since I grew up in Seattle, but yeah, just pumped to be here.
Trey Wimmer joining us here as well, South Carolina native. Trey, where are you at these days?
Yeah, I'm right outside Augusta, Georgia, but I'm living on the South Carolina side, so North Augusta, South Carolina, maybe like 3 hours from Charleston where Mike is, but maybe like an hour where I grew up here in South Carolina.
Yeah, I knew that you were living in Georgia at one point. I couldn't remember if you were still down there or not. So, well, it's great to have you guys here tonight. Really excited to be doing this. And the reason we're all together is we're going to take a look back at something that happened 8 years ago, and that was May 25th, 2012. In the Big South Baseball Championship semifinal. The site was High Point, North Carolina, Coy O. Willard Stadium, and it was Liberty and Gardner-Webb in the semifinals. Situation was Liberty needed to win. You guys both in that ball game needed a win to move on to the championship game against Coastal Carolina the next day. Gardner-Webb needed to get a win to force a seven-inning winner-take-all semifinal game in which Gardner-Webb would then have a chance to move on to championship Saturday. So Flame Train was coming in at 2-0, and this was a really good ball club that year. You guys won 41 games. You were closing in on the title game and taking on a little bit of a pesky, I guess, Gardner-Webb ball club. Let's kind of set the stage, though, coming in. You guys won the first two games. You're flying high. Whoever wants to go ahead and start, what was the feeling, I guess, coming into that ball game?
Yeah, I was pumped to just be able to actually play because I blew up my leg during that season. So that I was hobbling. I was like a pirate that season. So no, I was just pumped to be back on the field, and yeah, we were sniffing for the championship. We smelled it.
Yeah, that's a good point. You only played in 31 games, I think it was, that year, and that was your senior year, Mike. And
yeah, I was riding the pine a lot. It was I got comfy there. It was, can't make the club in the tub, and yeah, that was it.
Now, tell us a little bit about that leg injury. What do you remember about it? Because I remember seeing some of the photos. Your leg was, I mean, you were like black and blue, man.
Oh, black and blue is the correct way to term it. Trey should have helped me because he's a PT guy now, so he could have helped me back then. But yeah, I tore the fascia off it, which is like part of the muscle. Trey probably knows all about that. I don't know anything about it, but yeah, it was painful. So yeah, I just tore it. I think sliding into third. So then I missed a bunch of games, and then I got to play at the end. So that was cool.
Yeah, you had a really good year. You hit over 300 the time that you were out there. Trey, for you were coming off of an injury this season. You missed all of 2011 with a knee injury, I believe it was, and then to come back and have what I guess was supposed to be your senior season, but actually your redshirt junior season. What was the year like for you?
Well, unlike Mike, I didn't have an excuse because I played every game, and I had probably the worst season of my career. So very different story. Mike, like he said, tore his fascia, which in knowing what I know now is a very minor injury, which he should have played every game. And
soft as sharp.
No, I'm kidding. No, but just a tough year for me mentally and physically coming back from an injury and then having a pretty down year in power numbers and batting average and RBIs and still playing. I think I played almost every game with Grauer getting hurt in that year. I think it was the first weekend. I had to step in and catch anyway, regardless of what batting average looked like. So just had to find a way to be mentally tough on the field when the plate wasn't going so well. So going into the tournament wasn't super high. Or I guess maybe just confidence was super high and found a way to make things work. Had a pretty decent tournament, and then obviously this game worked out pretty well. So still a fun time. everything starts over. It's a new season when you go into tournament. So that was kind of like a mental refresh.
Yeah, no doubt. And it was a tough season for you. 227 was the batting average that year.
You had to say it out
loud. Wow. You're going like that now. Okay.
You came back. You came back the next year. You hit 296. So the best was yet to come. The RBI numbers went up in 2013. You just needed a year to get back.
Barrels all day.
he was catching a lot of barrels in 13.
It took me 5 years, but we'll take it.
Buggy whip. It took 5 years to get buggy whip. That's what it took.
But this tournament, you guys are coming in with 38 wins, and the first game you blow out UNC Asheville, the 6th seed, 9-2. Turn around, beat Campbell the next day, 7-0 in a shutout. And then it's Gardner-Webb here on Friday, and this was a morning game. It was 10 a.m. So you guys remember that? Remember maybe coming in a little groggy, or were you guys pumped up and ready to play?
I don't do mornings. I need a lot of coffee, and then I would cramp up that season because I had a lot of coffee. So it was like a
that probably didn't help the leg.
Didn't help the leg, but it was a catch-22. Did I want to be awake and then get cramps, or did I not want to be awake and not get cramps? So
I remember the night before, coaches trying to figure out, like, do we go to the field and take BP pregame? Do we just show and go? Do we just hope we make it? So I remember that being a morning game, and I remember being in the hotel with Mike most weekends, especially when we were at PC, and him ice tubbing, trying to get his cramps out of his leg.
Yeah, cramps are not good.
Literally walking down the hall with a tub of ice, trying to fill up the tub from the ice machine in the hotel.
Great times. I'm sure the folks at the Marriott loved you very, very much, especially the cleaning crew. So coming into this game, though, you guys are one win away from the championship. And, Trey, obviously this winds up being one of the most memorable, if not the most memorable moment of your career in the end. And really, I think, kind of sparked you with that walk-off home run against Gardner-Webb. But let's back up before we get that far. And Brooks Roy started this game on the mound for you guys, and he was a little bulldog, wasn't he? I mean, I don't say that in a derogatory sense, but like he was smaller in stature than a lot of guys out there. But I mean, he had that bulldog mentality, and he pitched pretty well in this game, didn't he?
Yeah.
He what? Go ahead. Okay.
I don't know why I stole that. You're the catcher.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, as somebody that regularly caught B-Roy or Brooks Roy, there was never a game that he didn't think he was going to go 9 innings and throw a shutout. And so when you're in the tournament, that's kind of what you need. And I can't remember what the stat line was. I think he went like 7+ maybe, and gave up 3 runs. Not all of them earned. I don't remember the stat line, but just competed. Not a guy going to throw 93 by you, but Nick pitches well, hit spots well. Make pitch calling really easy because he trusted all this stuff, and he usually spotted up pretty good. And so just that bulldog mentality, you're talking about what we needed in that game.
Well, he got off to good. Go ahead.
I was just going to add that he's a JUCO bandit from Pacific Northwest, so of course he was a great player.
Now, Brooks is actually coaching up in Edmonds College now. He's a pitching coach up there. So good for him. But, yeah, he had some great days with the Flames. This was one of them. Bottom of the second inning, you guys get off to a good start. Tyler Cox with the RBI single drove in Alex Close, who had that phenomenal freshman season that made it 1-0 lead early on. So you guys are flying high. Everything's going well up till the top of the fourth inning. All of a sudden, John Harris, catcher from Gardner-Webb, runs into one. And it was not easy to get a ball out at High Point, especially to left field. Now, Harris just went to right, but
yeah, you got to be really, really strong to hit a ball out of High Point.
Yeah, it was.
That's the left. Yeah.
It was definitely a pitcher's park in that sense, but Harris with a home run, that tied things up at 1. Go to the bottom of the fourth inning, Brian Anderud with a base hit here. He's going to drive in you, Mike. Do you remember how you got on base?
No, and I during that time I like to play station to station because of the leg. I was like, let's go 90 feet and let's like simmer for a little bit. So I think I went like first or third, so that probably hurt. So, but yeah, I scored. It was good.
Looking back at you got on an error. And then you reached on an error. You got to second on a wild pitch. and you were able to get to third. So you were very much station to station. You got to third on a sac fly by Alex Close.
Love it.
I guess it wasn't a sac fly, but it was a fly ball. It got you to third. So, yeah, you were playing – you were the old wily veteran at that point.
Yeah, I was playing Mike Robb old man ball.
Babe Ruth special. Have to take a taxi around the bases. No, so top of the fifth inning, Benji Jackson for Gardner-Webb, a base hit to right field. That's going to score a runner from first. But the significant part of this is – on a base hit to right field, a runner scores from first. The reason for that is because, Mike, you made your second error of the season. What happened right here? That ball snake on you a little bit, or?
Oh, it was a snake. Yeah, it was slithering. It had that sometimes when they cut the grass weird, it slithers. So yeah, that wasn't good. And then me and a teammate got into a disagreement in the dugout.
Yeah, are we going to talk about how Droid told you who Daddy was?
Droid is Brian Anderud for folks that do not know.
Yeah, we just exchanged our ideas in the dugout about what should have happened during that play, and just as gentlemen do. So yeah,
boys off the field though.
Boys off the field.
Well, and that's the thing. So, like that ball that gets by you, and everyone's in the heat of the moment. It's competition. You guys get in the dugout. He knows you're better than that. You know you're better than that. And then you guys, I guess, had a little disagreement. But it's you move on, right?
I think we went out to dinner that night. So yeah, we were good a few hours later.
So, I mean, what was the tension like in that dugout? Not just amongst yourselves, but like, in this kind of a war, so to speak.
There was tension. It was kind of intense, and I think Toman broke it up and said, like, stop yelling at Michael or something, and then he's like, and you make sure you get the ball or something. But I had one leg, so I was a pirate and just held the ball. So yeah.
But also in games like that, like, you got to remember, guys are fighting literally for the last game of their life. A lot of guys don't get drafted, and so, make an error, you never know if you get the ball again, or you strike out your last at bat, you don't know if you're done. And so tensions are higher in the last game of the year, or potential last game of the year. Nobody wants to go home. Nobody wants to be done. So that's part of it too.
Well, that would tie things up there at 2. And in the 7th inning, as we're going to skip ahead here a little bit, Brooks Roy still around out there. You guys talked about what his line was. A couple strikeouts for him here. Brooks Roy finished up 7 2/3 innings in this ball game and wound up only giving up just the one earned run, 3 runs total, 2 walks and 4 strikeouts, and threw 92 pitches. And I want to say he was doing it on short rest, if I'm not mistaken. He might have pitched, what was it, the last game of that series with the weekend prior to that? I'm not sure. You guys might remember that. But Brooks Roy left it all out there. Got a no decision in the ball game. Top of the 8th inning, Jared Lyons on to pitch. Jared, boy, this guy was this wasn't necessarily his best day, but gave up a couple of hits here. But, boy, he was a great competitor, wasn't he?
Yeah, if you watch that video, I mean, I think that ball was hit like 3 miles an hour up the middle that just, squeaked by a droid and got into the ball. But, yeah, Lyons is another guy that just didn't throw 98, but he'd sneak it in on you too. From a hitter's perspective, just ball wasn't straight, wasn't flat. Just kind of came in heavy from a little guy, surprised you, snuck up on you, and he got outs. That's what he did for a living, it seemed like.
Yeah, and then he wound up that he did do it for a living. He got some time with the Oakland A's after his time at Liberty. Was a 9th-round pick, actually, by Oakland. So that tied the game up, and then Matt Marsh is going to have to come in and try to get you out of the inning. How about that stop by Dalton Sipe over there at third? I mean, that's a big play, because if you go to the 9th inning and you're down multiple runs instead of down 1 run because there were 2 guys ready to score if that ball gets down the line, I mean, that's a huge underrated play that people probably forget about in this game, isn't it?
Yeah, he was lovely. He was always legit with the glove. So I think he was playing with a broken finger too, or something like. I remember he had some like broken bone in his hand. So he was a savage. He was a JUCO bandit, West Coast guy. So of course, you're
Laguna Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, he you're right. He had broken, I think, a knuckle in his hand the year prior to that. He only played a handful of games in 2011, but he was a gamer. He was out there a lot in 2012 and certainly made a huge play right there. So, all right, so we're in the bottom of the ninth now, and you guys are down, not to the end of your season, but certainly this is crunch time. No one wants to come back and play Gardner-Webb again. Alex Close to lead things off with a single, and I mean, gosh, his freshman year, he was just unbelievable, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was bananas. That whole season was electric. He couldn't get out. It was amazing.
Yeah, a lot of the balls he hit made Worthington Stadium look like Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
And he has the baby face too, so it works.
That's true, and I think he still has the baby face now at age 30? No, he's not quite 30 yet, I don't think. But no, it's if there's one guy, a lot of guys do kind of change after college. Alex hasn't really changed that much.
It's just Alex.
Yeah. But he had a tremendous year, and you figure he would be the guy to start something in the ninth. So he's going to get to third. But now there's 2 outs in the inning, and Trey, you're coming up here. Take me back to the dugout. What's the conversation? What's the feeling when you're standing in the on-deck circle and it's coming down to you?
Well, it's not super exciting because most of the year in late innings, if it came down to crunch time, that's when Grauer would come pitch hit for me. And so, honestly, I was after I think it was Tyler Cox that hit before me. He grounded out. And then I start walking to the plate. I take my shin guards off, start walking to the plate. And I did like a little look back at Toman to see if he was going to be like, do his little finger, like, come back and we're going to let Grauer take care of this one, buddy. Have a seat beside me. And he didn't. He let me go hit. I think the at-bat before that, I hit a pretty solid single at the middle and just had a couple of good ABs the game before. So I guess he just thought I could handle it, and luckily he did.
And for me, I was praying that Trey did something epic because I'd screwed up the whole game with 2 errors. So I was like, Trey, please save me on this.
And I used Mike Rob's bat because mine had let me down too many times. And I said, I'm done with you. I'm going to get some juju from Mike Rob's bat. And
I put some buggy whip in there for him. Yep.
Yeah. And I finally figured out it was shorter to left. And we decided to go left.
Well, the funny thing was it wasn't really that short to left at this place.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it, about 340 down the left field line, I think, at high point?
And it played bigger. Like, there were some balls that I think were hit way harder than what I feel like I hit it, and they just died as lazy fly balls.
But Trey's really strong, so, I mean, yeah.
Well, you're facing Jeff Howell from Gardner-Webb, and we'll just kind of lay back and take a look at this as we've set the scene. Tying run at third, winning run at the plate. Bottom 9, Trey Wimmer up.
Wimmer stands in with 2 out and a runner at third. First pitch swinging, a fly ball hit deep to left field. On the ride is Coleman. Track, whoa, she's gone! She's gone! Liberty wins! A walk-off 2-run homer for Trey Wimmer! He spikes the helmet around third, and he's mobbed at the plate!
So everyone's going crazy here. Take me into this this celebration right now. I mean, Trey, can you even believe what you've just done?
No, my first walk-off I've ever hit in my life, and so that was a cool experience. And I don't know why, but the most vivid memory of that is one when I go to round first, and Hagan is trying to do everything he can to not grab me. And then when I round third, Murdoch or Coach Murray is just like literally jumping up and down like he's 4 years old and just like celebrating, yelling at everybody at the plate to don't touch me. Like, that's all I remember hearing him say, like, don't touch him, don't touch him. And then just really cool emotions, like seeing teammates who, really care about you and your buddies, and on and off the field, just love each other. And, them knowing my season was pretty terrible, and then to see them cheer for me the way that went down was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I was super pumped for Trey, and I was super relieved that for me too. So that was awesome. And I think Murray was the second most pumped. Like flat out. He was the second most pumped person that it happened.
Yeah, he was. Murdoch was he was not shy about his emotions when things went well on the field.
No. You got to remember, Murdoch came into a game after a little funk we had in the middle of that year and put jalapeno peppers in our lockers and said that we needed to start acting like jalapenos. And to this day, I don't know what it means. But we got hot. We won 41 games. So I give
spicy. Yeah.
Yeah, I give part of that to Murdoch for jalapenos.
Jalapenos, big jalapeno guy.
Sometimes it's the littlest and seemingly most insignificant, stupidest things, if you will, that just that'll spark some, and especially in baseball, right? I mean, what other sport is that going to happen in?
Yeah, don't know.
So, actually, that was only the second home run Jeff Howell gave up all year. He was a pretty good pitcher for Gardner. They used him a lot. He threw like 40-some innings, and you just jumped him on the – did you know first pitch you were going to jump him?
I just guessed off speed. I remember the bat before when I hit a pretty good line drive up the middle, got a lot of barrel on it, and it was a fastball. And I figured, well, bad batting average. They think you can't hit off speed pitch. You got to hit off the fastball at bat before. Probably going to start you off something breaking ball. Start with the breaking ball so you can get you a chase and ground out or fly out. So I just sat slider and he hung it a little bit and got barrel on it.
And Trey said, "Elevate and celebrate. Let's go."
Elevate and celebrate.
Yeah, that wound up being, I think, the top play on SportsCenter that night, or it was definitely in SportsCenter's top 10. But
it was the call that got it on SportsCenter.
Well, yeah. I don't know about that, but the call doesn't exist without the home run, so I appreciate that. Good times, great memories. Certainly, the next day did not go as planned. Coastal Carolina wound up winning the Big South title, but that curse would be reversed in another year's time, and that's certainly a conversation for another day. But you guys were a big part of some Flames history right there, and certainly a special season nonetheless. Even though it didn't end the way that you wanted it to, I mean, how would you guys sum up that 2012 season?
That season was probably the most fun I had, even though I was injured. Like it's all about the guys in the end. It's not about the actual playing. And like I still keep in contact with a ton of the guys. So it was a really special like group of guys just to be around. So I was blessed to be a part of it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's all about the guys. That year was just scrappy. I mean, years before, I think a year or two before that, we had our rotation was like Sean Tuffle, Steven Evans, Keegan Linza, like just multiple guys winning 10-plus games, I feel like. And then this year didn't have like the power names going into the year, and we just found ways to win. Like Brooks Roy and D1 or Josh Richardson just stepping up and being big in games, pitching-wise, and then just JUCO bandits, like Mike was saying, just coming out of nowhere and driving in runs and dropping bombs. And so it's just a scrappy year. We just found ways to win.
Mike, what are you doing now? Tell us about life after Liberty Baseball and after Liberty University. And also, where'd you get that suit, brother?
Yeah, I'm the first one to wear a suit on this.
Way to make us feel like we're underdressed for the occasion. Appreciate that.
I think it's like my quarantine going crazy. I'm working for the Boeing company now. They make airplanes. And, so I was in Seattle for quite a few years. And I was in Seattle for quite a few years, and now I'm down here in Charleston, South Carolina. I got the opportunity to come down here. So I'm loving the culture down here and the food, and it's just awesome being in this beach town. So that's pretty much me.
And Trey, you're in physical therapy now, living down in Georgia. How long have you been doing that now?
About 3 years now, I guess. Been here. We just opened a clinic in North Augusta on the South Carolina side. Today actually is 1 year open, so it's going pretty good. It was going really good until all the COVID stuff hit, but still doing well. Got two little ones now. One's a 2-year-old boy and an 8-week-old little girl. And so just trying to figure work life out while balancing two kids that aren't allowed to leave the house because of all the rules right now have been pretty crazy, but fun nonetheless.
And please refer to him as Dr. Wimmer.
Do you have your doctorate?
It is a clinical doctorate. I'm not a medical doctor who orders medicine or anything at all.
But you have a doctorate, so you are Dr. Wimmer.
Learned doctor.
I am technically a doctor of physical therapy, but I don't answer to Dr. Wimmer.
Dude, I would introduce myself as doctor everywhere I went if I had a doctorate.
This is a house of learned doctors.
Well, Doctor, Mr., whatever you want to go by, Wim Daddy, I don't know what you were going by back in the day. What were you guys' nicknames? Did you guys have nicknames, or can you share them here?
I think I was just Trey. I don't know.
That's boring.
No, Melvin.
Or yeah, my first name is Melvin. So I guess that would
I never knew that.
Yeah, you go by Trey too if your name was Melvin.
Oh,
yeah,
great times.
Yeah, Mike.
Yours was what?
Mike Rob, yeah.
Yeah, Mike Rob.
I never had that till I came to Liberty. I think Trey gave it to me.
Yeah, I gave that to him because he told me his nickname was Robo, and I was like, that's cool, but we could do better.
That's JV. That's all JV. You need a varsity name.
Got to step the game up now.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Well, guys, I certainly appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun diving into some memories here tonight, and looking forward to what lies ahead for Flames baseball. And it's just great to take a trip down memory lane with you guys. So thanks a lot.
Thanks, Nick.